Thank you. You know, we talk about school reform, you know, and Lee talked about that. We're the school, you know, we talk a lot about it, but, you know, we're doing it. And I think that it's our responsibility as an educator to figure out the solutions to things rather than just to talk about the problems. So let me show you why we reversed it and why we flip it and why we have to consider how we offer educational services in this country. Because even though I was on CNN, one of the things that was remarkable about that, not that I had anything remarkable to say, but how ready we are for change. Because when we did it, they asked me to do the post, they had 15 total comments, you know, per post. I had 580 in just a simple blog post that, you know, anyone would do. And so when we look at it, we have to kind of ask ourselves, and the same things that Lee talked about, why are we doing what we're doing? Because traditionally, what are we asking our kids to do? Traditionally, we're asking our kids, the teacher goes over content in class, correct? And then they go home and they practice. Well, what kind of environment are they practicing in? And so when we're setting up our learning environment, it's not because we're failing because of lack of effort and even a lack of money. It's because we don't have the proper structure. Now, that's the delivery of education. So when we look at it, teachers are complaining about homework. You know, parents are complaining that we're not meeting their needs, and kids are frustrated, right? And why are they? Because look, we do have an elephant in the room in this country. When my at-risk student goes home, they don't always learn in a safe place. They don't always have technology available. They don't have a parent, even though they're the well-intended parent, they didn't graduate from high school. Have you ever sat at the kitchen table and your student said, "That's not how my teacher taught me"? And how many fights did you have with your kids? That's not, you know, multiplication, the new math, it drives everybody crazy. So who should be helping your student with that process? The teacher. And by simply reversing it, right, where students watch a video or some lecture, a teacher shares information with that student. And then the teacher actually is there to help assist and teach strategy, how to solve the problem, teach skill, and how to apply it. The magic happens. It's not rocket science, right? Because the football coach has been doing that, the art teacher has been doing that, the Spanish teacher has been doing that for years. But why do we do that in science? And why do we do it in math? As everyone kind of giggled, right? Isn't that how our math classes should be set up? Right? And so that's the beginning phase of the redesign in schools. And we did it with no money. We're $5 million in debt. We have limited technology. We don't have one-to-one. We have computer labs in some areas where computers are. And guess what? We have a transient population. 12 out of 163 kids went K-12. 12. So when you look at it and students review information before class and students didn't do activities and homework in class, what kind of space do they need to do it in? Rows? No, we need to train them for what they're going to see when they do the corporate world, right? Right? In schools, they call it cheating, and in the Steele case, they probably fire you for sitting in your cubicle all the time, right? Right? They probably end up firing you because you just don't get along. But by flipping it, students suddenly learn in a safe atmosphere. They suddenly have, they say, well, when kids don't have technology. So our school, we create a video, oftentimes, and we have kids watch the video. And if kids don't have technology, we use our existing technology. Okay. Computer labs available. Libraries available at before and after school during lunchtime. Let's be reasonable about it, right? And kids can use their cell phones. Let's just get over the fact that all kids have cell phones, right? Let's let them use it. So the bottom line is, but you have someone like a parent who encourages and supports them. You have a community of supporters. Think about your schools today. I have a counselor, social worker, school psychologist. I have special ed staff that help kids with learning disabilities, right? And I also have more experts in that building. So when you're designing a school, where do you want the learning and practice to take place? Right? Would the football coach have that? Would they practice in an unsafe environment? Would they not have film to watch? Would they not have a community of supporters and rally at pep rallies? Of course not. Then why does our students in math do that? Why is our story so important? Because in the first time in our nation's history, as we design schools, for the first time, we have equity. We just don't talk about it, we actually have it. For the first time in our nation's history, we talk about equity as all students can have the same learning environment. Where before we could never have that. And so, as classrooms look like this, what do our spaces need to look like? They need to look like collaborative spaces where the teacher's the lead learner. But they're not the only learner. The classroom takes a look at teacher-guided instruction, independent work, collaborative work with others, right? Computer-based instruction. And you're folding in and out of those things as you need it. You know, technology does play a part. Look at just video, what it does for us. We need to have the ability to create video within the schools because, look, it eliminates the issue about being able to repeat it. I can hear my teacher 5,000 times. Guess what? I can get a teacher from Seattle. I can get a teacher from China. Because my interest is to put the best information in front of kids at all times. I can put that video in front of kids in Chicago and kids in Schaumburg. Don't they deserve the best? When we're building our national education platform, don't you want all kids to see the best instructor? We can do that. How about if it effectively deals with absenteeism, and the list goes on and on and on. It guarantees the quality and pace. Because guess what? I can reduce the workload for teachers by 80% because now if I have 4 math teachers, we can all take a turn. And we're not just piling on teachers, we're actually reducing their workload a little bit and making them more effective in the classroom. And you guys can be part of that change. How important is collaboration? We feel in our school that we just aren't by ourselves. So we collaborate with schools. We've collaborated with school in Israel to talk about the Holocaust. We've collaborated where our calculus students make videos and send them to 2 other schools for them to give feedback on how we are doing. You know, we're a global market. Well, let's create that. And we also provide entry points. We have 2 universities who've been able to give us feedback and also tutor our kids. I have 41 students from the University of Michigan who volunteered to help flip our school. So they offer tutoring from 4 o'clock in the afternoon to 11 at night. Unsolicited, volunteered their time to help tutor our kids using a discussion board. There's not people out there willing to help. The research on the flipped classroom is overwhelming. What's the research tell us? We need to increase our engagement time, feedback, collaboration, and all that stuff, yet we don't have a school structure that encourages it. Now we do. Now we do. How about parent support? I used to have 100 and some phone calls of complaints every single day. Seems like. You know how many I had total? How many think I had total this year? What do you think? Throw a number. Sure. Nope. How many? Less. Lower. Lower. 7. High school principal in an at-risk school. I say probably 200 to 300 a year. Why? Because we're offering one-to-one tutoring services for the kid. Period. So when we talk about this, the teacher's role is changing from content delivery to skill and strategy and application. This is their role down here. You know, they need to help kids. That's their expertise. All right? We talk about the 3. This is really along the lines of the flip. The flip talks about pedagogy, technology integration, social, emotional safety. Talk about the bullying programs, right? And also the space design. Because look, if we had a room that was too small in here and we're trying to get collaboration or a lecture of some sort, how do you even do it? You know, people aren't going to move a 90-pound desk around. They're just not going to encourage it. Here's how your room looks like. Right here. You have a teacher station to do teacher-guided instruction, collaboration stations by doing some of these designs with the mini boards, and then you have large group instruction, and then teachers are floating in and out, kids are floating in and out, and then you have skill-based instruction where the technology assists kids in catching up. This is my contact information. If you'd like any more information on the Flip School, thank you so much. Appreciate it.